Corbin Brown. I am the owner and founder of Caremore on Sundays and Caremore Community. We focus on healing our community through holistic practices like meditation, veganism, just ways to heal yourself through nature. That's really what we're all about. We want to be able to break the cycle of broken children growing into damaged adults, though. That's why we're here. A lot of us are damaged adults. The things we're dealing with aren't things that we just dealt with yesterday or the day before or the month before or last year. It's things that we've been holding inside of us for years, and it's built trauma inside of us. And now it's up to us to heal ourselves. All right? Next.
Peace and love, family. Peace. Y'all hear me? Hello? Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Alright. Peace and love, family. I'm Chris, owner and distributor of Family Springs, natural artesian alkaline spring water. I'm backing up the corpus. We got a lot of trauma, and I come from a place where I'm very passionate about water. We're in the Aquarius age right now, so we understand that the power of the movement is through water. Water is the way. Water brings a lot of information. We pass a lot of trauma through water. So as a water bearer of this age, I'm here to shine light on that and bring a water perspective, knowledge, information, all the things that water is, principles that water teaches us, here to bring us into that new realm. All right?
Y'all hear me? Peace. Yeah, we good. Peace, y'all. I'm Ina Maka. My company is Sacred Sacrament, and within that company, I work with plant medicine, specifically psilocybin, for the natural sacrament and the healing of, like everybody's saying here, generational and karmic curses. A lot of us carry a lot of trauma that needs to be released because it's not ours to carry. And so within that, the medicine work that I do, it helps people with mental ailments. It also helps people with postpartum, which is one of the reasons I started doing this medicine work. I'm also a meditation practitioner. I also have retreats. So I'm really grateful to be here because nature is always a way that I implement my healing attributes. The medicine that I utilize comes from nature. A lot of the things that I utilize, the herbs, come from nature. So I just love that we pay and respect to nature, being outdoors, connecting, communing. And yeah, I'm just grateful for the collective, grateful for the elevation, grateful for the expansion of the awareness, and grateful for the medicine, which is each and every one of us.
Peace, everybody. I'm Thelonious, owner and operator of Mighty Thundercloud Edible Forest. It's a 5-acre sustainable farm. So I grow vegetables, herbs, cut flowers. And then apart from just growing the food, the farm is also a space where, people, particularly people of African descent, can, return to the land, reconnect, and reconnect with that connection that was being severed, from us, through our experience. So, yeah, I'll pass it on.
Great day. My name is Chandria Monique. I go by Mo, however. I am the owner and founder of No Woman Left Behind Fitness, and over there we focus more so on mindset and health, because I truly believe that through a strong mindset that you can build a strong body. At any age, it doesn't matter, what it looks like at this time. You can always start. Also, we focus more so as far as mindset. When we think about it, so as far as, hold on, I'm losing my train. Hold on. So as far as the mindset part, so when we build a strong mindset, we build a strong body. On the days that you don't feel like doing it, when you don't feel like working out, you got to push through. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes, 40 minutes, but you still got to push through. And that's how I mainly build my fitness business. Nutrition is important, but I focus on mindset because mindset was something that had me going when I first started. I I didn't start all enthusiastic. I didn't have a lot of motivation. I had to push myself, and that's how I started my business with other women and moms mainly that was going through the same thing. And that's that. However, it is No Woman Left Behind, but we do not leave men behind because I also train men as well.
Thank you, thank you. You can actually hold the mic right there. You can hold the mic. So we got another question for you. You know, a lot of times when it comes to wellness, the first thing people think of is just working out. You know, but a lot of times they quit early though, because you know a lot of people don't really like working out. It's not a very fun thing for a lot of people. How do how do you address the mental challenges that can arise during the plateaus or setbacks in the fitness progress?
You got to remember your goal. You got to stick to your goal. Whenever, like I said, whenever you feel like you can't do it, you got to remember why you started. It's not about how you start. It's always about how you finish. That's what I would say.
How do you all feel about those setbacks when it comes to fitness, the fitness journey? Yeah.
I'm not on a fitness journey, but within that, I like the idea of the mindfulness and being aware of your goals and setting goals. So for me, like moving my body is important. Although I don't go to the gym, I have to move my body each and every day because I understand that there's energy stored in my body. And if I allow any negative energy to be stored in my body, that's when disorder and disease is built up. So movement is essential for each and every person, which is that wellness mindset, which are the goals, and also honoring like what your body allows and what your body doesn't allow. Some people aren't, like you said, in different spaces. Someone might not feel or look a certain way, but they may be well. And honoring that wellness looks and feels different for each individual person.
I see you doing a lot of running a lot lately, Chris. How do you feel about that?
I'm chasing after his goals, right? And, everything that I do is always going to be a water perspective and answer to it, right? So you have to have running water, right? Because without those things, your whole water treatment facility shuts down. Like the water becomes contaminated, energy becomes stagnated, like Sis just said, right? So you have to keep the body moving. Consistently, that's my perspective on it. So one of the things that we're doing right now is we're running after it like it's a marathon. We're going to continue to pass this on generation after generation. So it's a marathon. So why not bring in and put forth something that you can do long into your health? I used to weight train, so like stretch marks still here to show basically the weightlifting part, but you don't do those things until you're well in age. Unless that's what when you get into your 80s, the maintaining of those things in that physique, the more you have to consume to keep that, right? So, but when I look at the totality of everything, when people do things long and longevity, I see runners, I see walkers, and I do see a lot of white people that are actually out there in their 80s and they're still running and jogging, right? So when I look at that, I'm like, what is something that I can continue, I can keep a physique, I can continue to do and continue to compete with, even with myself, right? So even if, we're not competing in this business world, right? But nothing in the universe, we're trained to think that we need to compete. But, a lot of us have competed in sports in some shape, form, or fashion, right? And then it carries over into our business. So for me, sporting element and competition and exercising and that is just a way to exercise our rights and our feeling, and it opens up so many different hormones and things of that nature. So I can be super long-winded on that, but I'm super into the running and the athletic part of it, and I think that we should all have to have some of that to exercise our rights.
I definitely agree with that. Now, just going off of everything you just said, how does the alkaline water contribute to the overall hydration and wellness?
That's a major contributor, right? I'm gonna start right here because I just had a massage done with Windows of Wellness. All right, and when I was running back in 2020, I was running, probably almost about 13 miles a day, and I would get my muscles and get really, really tight, right? And anything I try before I advertise it, I always put my body through it because that's where my passion comes from. I'm not going to sell anything that I don't believe in, right? So through that process of her working out my muscles, she said that muscles were as hard. So like when you work out, you form lactic acid within your muscles. That's what creates the soreness, the pain, and it extends your recovery time. So when she said that, it automatically converted over to the water that and the hydration factor, right? And how we consume alkaline water, right, is literally a natural spring source, so it resists the change, right, of acidity within the body. So when a lot of people talk about alkalinized water is making something. You're alkalinizing the effects, right? So you're creating alkalinity within the body. The body is geared towards balance and resisting of changes. So when you pair up something naturally with what the body and Mother Nature is already doing, you're literally putting yourself in the homeostasis and in the balance, because everything is a fight towards the balance, right? So when you're consuming alkaline water, right, it already has those minerals, right, from the rocks, right? So alkalinizing is the splitting up and creating acid, and it's splitting up the molecules of water. Alkalinity is having the minerals to be able to buffer the acidity. So when you're drinking and consuming, your body's a hollow tube, right, from mouth to anus. So when it diffuses everything into, all your different, your bloodstream, right? So through this process, your body is not going to be looking to take minerals from your bone, which are all your deposits. Your minerals are deposited into your bone. So it'll start to pull calcium if you don't have the proper water and the proper hydration, because it's looking for balance, right? And that's why it grabs hold of the rocks and takes these minerals. When you're consuming this natural spring water and it's going through your body, it's not going to be looking to deprive your body of resources, right? And I always compare that to our inner city communities, right? So when we know with robbing, stealing, killing, and lack of resources due to our community, it's because of lack of thereof. So inside the body, your body reacts the same exact way. When it does not have minerals, it's going to rob, steal, kill, and it's going to pull from other organs within the body in order to neutralize the effect. So this is what we're talking about, buffering. And this is what you want. This is what alkalinity is providing, alkaline spring water, natural spring water.
Okay. That was a great answer. I didn't know that it was really that. I didn't know that spring water was alkaline water. Honestly, so why do people often separate the two?
Because it's that becomes a marketing thing, right? So at this point in time, I've just been in business, thank God. We made 6 years on the 25th of this month. And before it became a thing, doctors started stamping it and everything. It was a hard sell. So now at this point in time, they're really taking on, it's like supersizing. At one point in time, a small was a small, now a small is a medium, right? So once marketing materials start to get a hold of it, they start to separate the information, right? So you can chemically, everything in your body, everything in Mother Nature is chemical, right? So we say chemicals and we think carcinogenic, but everything in life happens to be about bonding and separating bonds. It's about energy. So how they're separating that information now is they're alkalizing and they're selling machines and selling filters. They're contaminating spring sources to get you to depart away from understanding information. That's water holds information. So when the same thing that's trapped up in the trees and it runs through the veins of the trees and it stores in the leaves and the fruits and the things that we break down and consume to open back up again, it's literally taking that away from us. And when it takes that and severs the connection, once it severs the connection, it allows for them and man to actually intervene into what God naturally, our natural connection is, what nature is. And that's basically what it is in all totality. It's a connection. All things is made to connect through water.
Okay, great answer. I appreciate that. Mr. Theo, now he's speaking on the importance of the water, and we know it comes from the land though. So can you speak on the importance of farm to table and what it plays on the impact of your actual health though?
Yeah, farm to table. I think now science is starting to catch up and understand what most sort of indigenous people have known all along, and that's that you know plants, number one, they get energy from the sun, through what science calls photosynthesis. We also get energy from the sun, but we can't extract as much as the plants do. So we can get that by consuming those plants. There's also microorganisms in the soil, which plants can access and take up through their roots. So we also get access to the soil biome, all of those nutrients and microorganisms and those compounds. We take that up by consuming those plants grown in live soil. So when you do grow food that's not in natural sunlight, or live soil, then you're basically depleting the amount of available nutrients. So when we talk about farm to table, we're talking about knowing who your grower is. First trying to see what you can grow yourself. I walked around here, I saw there's stuff growing in the backyard right here. You can grow a lot: tomatoes, peppers, other things growing back there. Eggplant, I saw watermelons. All in that little section back there. So even if you live in an apartment, people can do things in boxes. So it's always good to start where you are, and try to reach a point where you can get land. That land is so valuable and critical, because land is basically freedom. That's where, our liberation is tied to that, because then you have the power to grow your own food, with that agricultural land base. I mean, you can grow your own clothing, make your own clothing, build your own homes, and live as a community of people and really, supply, all of your needs. So, and so when you also buy food that has been freshly picked, that's when it's going to have its most nutrients, and it starts to decrease every day after that. So 3 days later, a pepper that might have started with 100% vitamin C might go down to 70%. So a lot of the food in the grocery stores might have traveled. You don't know how far. Some of it, say it might have came from Honduras or California. So that could be a week or more long before it gets to your table. So we know it's not the same amount of nutrients as if you were to get it right there from your local farmer. So that adds on to it, the distance it travels, and then also whether that farmer is using regenerative practices and building the soil health. Because like I said, the soil health is also directly connected to the amount of nutrients. And so that's what we're starting to research now. A lot of black farmers in the area, working with the HBCUs, and doing nutrient-dense testing, comparing like our tomato versus the tomato in the grocery store, and then we can start doing that community outreach and sharing what we're learning, with the public.
Thank you. And it's very big what you're doing out there. How many acres do you own out there?
I'm on 5 acres.
5 acres.
Yes.
5 acres of land. Y'all give a hand applause for 5 acres of land that this man owns, man. That he operates. It doesn't matter how he acquired it. Or it does matter, because now we need to know so we can do the same. But it's the fact that he has 5 acres of land that he's producing to be able to help himself, but it's helping the community at the same time. That's very big on you. Now, growing up, I never met a man that looked like me that had 5, not even 1 acre of land though. So that's very big though. I want to give you your flowers right now for that, really though. Yeah, you too, Chris though, having your own water company. That's some very big things that you all are doing though. It's really changing generational curses though. They always try to speak on finances being a way to break generational curses, but it's through the gut first, through that water and that food that we putting into it. That's the control center right there though. So thank you. So what advice would you give to someone who's looking to start their own farm or acquire their own land?
Yeah, the first thing I would say is to find somebody who's farming. There's a lot of black farmers in the area. We're here, we're around. That's what I did. I connected with some of the elder farmers. I started visiting, farms whenever they would have like volunteer days or like tours and stuff like that, and really just, and I even apprenticed on another farm, so that's kind of how I started to form my vision for what I wanted to do for my own land. Because I would definitely say before you just jump up and buy land, unless you have land in your family somewhere, because a lot of us do have family land that we don't know about, and that's how I was able to be blessed like that. But I would say check in your area, ask around, do we have some land, some space around? And then, like connect with the local farmers, start to visit farms, see what, because there's a lot of different operations you can do within a farm. There's agritourism, like I said, you can grow food, you can grow herbs, you can have a retreat space, you can do cut flowers, you can make jams and value-added products. So there's so many different avenues. So really take that time, that first year or so, just kind of apprenticing, gaining information, knowledge, and formalize your own vision, based on that.
Thank you. Okay. That's big. Y'all make another give me a hand of applause for Chris and Theo. Really though, they're really, like I said, they're doing big things though. And we have to really acknowledge these things though, as if somebody's running an award for getting 20 touchdowns this year. You feel me? They acknowledge the athletes and the entertainers so much though, but the people that's actually feeding us, that's gonna make our community really grow to another level, not stay in the same circle, stay in the same matrix, but really grow to another level. That's what they're doing though. They're really neighborhood heroes right now.
And another thing with, when we talk about the farming, you talk about fertilizer. Fertilizer was one of the ways that they started speeding up the process. So back to the water thing, anytime man looks to speed up the process that Mother Nature naturally does, naturally has filtration levels, naturally it works and it cooperates with the microorganisms in the ground, we lose the separation. So agriculture was one of the first ways that you started getting leaky gut syndrome and a lot of those things, right? Because they started losing the connection with your microbiome and your gut bacteria with the soil bacteria, right? That's a relationship that they have. And there's a relationship underneath the trees, right? In the roots of the trees that fungi and bacteria actually has a live relationship with. So that disconnection, right, to what she was talking about, is literally causing separation within our own soul, the soil of the earth and the soul, right? So there's literally a live connection. Whether we realize it or not, it plays a major role in what he's saying is being tapped into our agriculture, right? And like I said, fertilizer in the 50s, I think, right, when it really started popularizing, and people started really, separating themselves from, going out into and doing farming and so forth. It caused a big separation, and the same thing I see it happening now with the water evolution as people start to get into the water business and all these different types of water and so forth. Things happen over years, so it's not going to be a quick change. It's going to be 30, 40 years, and it's going to affect that generation.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Now going back to our fitness enthusiasts, how would you say the nutrition plays a role in the fitness journey though? Because of course we have to make sure we're conscious of what the food and the water we're putting inside of us. But at the same time, like Ina spoke on, you have to have that movement with you on a daily basis. So if you're eating certain foods, you might not have that same energy. What would you say when it comes to nutrition and the fitness journey?
Make sure you're eating foods that's feeding your body versus, starving your body and pulling things from your body. Because the gut is our second brain. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay. Because the gut is our second brain and it's directly connected. So when you pay attention to what you put in your body, everything should work the way it's supposed to, right? So that means eating fruit, vegetables, water, the right water. And I want to say something about the water. I got water over here. However, I tasted his water when I came in, and it completely tastes different. Like, I'm definitely going to be investing in some of his water because I just know it's better because it tastes a lot better. So that's what I would say. And I'm not so much against eating meat. However, we have to pay attention if we are eating meat. Those animals, depending on what type of state they are in, that energy transfers over into us. So whether you believe it or not, it's a fact. And I'm doing my best to even get myself away from completely eating meat. So that's another thing I would say as far as the nutrition part. However, I wouldn't say to go on a strict diet per se. I don't believe in diets. I believe in moderation, and that's eating in moderation. And that's with anything that you're eating, right? Because if you're not growing it yourself, then you really don't know what you're putting inside your body, because it's still layered with, pesticides and all type of things of that nature. So even that part is important also. So I would just, like I say, be more conscious about eating the right things. Even speaking, it may sound crazy, even speaking over your food makes a difference, and not just a regular prayer. I mean, actually speaking over your food and what you would like for it to do within your body and for your health as you're eating it. When it comes to whether you're on a fitness journey or not, I would say you don't have to starve yourself. That's another thing. I don't want anybody to starve themselves as far as nutrition and trying to eat the right things. You don't have to do that. Eat what you want to eat. Okay? Long as it's going to feed your body the right way, eat what you would like to eat within moderation.
Definitely have to be intentional with what you put in your body though, and put it in moderation though. Figuring out what's best for you though. It's no real secret formula for anybody to just address like, oh, you only eat this, only eat that, stay away from this, take these herbs. There's no real secret formula, but figuring out what that code is inside of you, and being able to unlock that. Then once you unlock that, you know what's best for you. Then that's just really what it is. Just figuring out what works for you, what helps you operate at your optimized level. Honestly. All right. So one more question I got for you.
One more.
How? No, I'm sorry. Yeah. How do you prevent the burnout while pursuing your fitness goals?
So how to prevent a burnout? I would say start easy. Don't do too much. You don't have to be in the gym or at home, like you said. You don't go to the gym. You don't have to be doing an hour, 2 hours. That's not necessary. If you start that way, more than likely you're going to go into a burnout. If you don't have an all-natural pre-workout. I don't recommend anything other than a all-natural pre-workout, and that can be whatever you would like for that to be. But you can start with 15 minutes, a 30-minute walk, just to get your body moving, all right? You don't need to go overboard. I know social media fitness is a big thing right now. Do not pay attention to what you see on social media. Please do not. They be doing all type of crazy things that's going to have you in the hospital versus living your best life in your best body. So, and I'm not saying all fitness influencers are like that, but do what's in moderation for you. You understand your body better than anybody. Even if you're working with a trainer, you know when you are hurting, when it's not just my muscles aren't used to this. If it hurts, stop. Do not do it any longer and build yourself up. And that's what I would say to prevent your burnout.
Thank you. You can pass this mic over to Miss Ina. Just got a few questions for you as well. First question we have is, what is the relationship between plant medicine and personal growth?
I was so happy when you said that. I don't want to say that you have to take plant medicine to grow personal growth. You don't have to. But I will say if you want to incorporate plant medicine into your spiritual practice, that it will elevate you on a completely different level. Within that, the medicine that I utilize, psilocybin, or one of the medicines I utilize, it brings a hyper sense of awareness, and it also has the ability to shift your perception. A lot of the pain that we have, a lot of the triggers, a lot of the trauma, a lot of the reactions that we have are because our perception is jaded. We are living in our bodies and we are reacting to things that our bodies are naturally going to react to in our lives because that's our perception. But when we utilize plant medicine, we have awareness of the all, the whole, and the totality of the connective energy of those around us. So when we have a disagreement, we can leave the disagreement in peace and not in pieces. We can say that although I don't see it that way,
We're listening.
I still honor what you are, and I honor who you are, and I honor the way you're expressing yourself. It has allowed me to communicate in a more balanced way. It has allowed me to be more aware of how my actions or overreactions have caused trauma or issues in my life. It has allowed me to see that no one else can control my peace of mind. It's all up to me. So when we were doing the meditation, the biggest thing I was saying was being anchored in our breath. Our breath and changing the way that we breathe can change our whole reality. When you are nervous, when you are scared, you breathe a different way than you breathe when you are in a calm or relaxed state. And all that is doing is giving your body and pushing chemicals into your body to either underreact or overreact. Like you were saying, when you're in that space of homeostasis, your body is relaxed. And that's where we want to be. And the plant medicine allows us to be in that space. It allows us to be joyful. It allows us to be bliss. It allows us to have that control aspect and also just be able to understand other perceptions as well. So if someone comes to me with something, if someone tries to change my peace, all I have to do is breathe. And I understand and honor, like, okay, that's what you're going through, but I can control my own space and my own aura. And that is personal growth. That is development. That is being a god or goddess in your body. Because when you can control yourself, everything around you shifts. When you walk in a certain light, everything around you is amplified. When you honor who you are, everyone around you also has to honor who you are, or they can't be around you anymore. And that is our power. And so within that, the development aspect is the power aspect, is the awareness aspect. And within that, that's what the medicine can do for you.
Thank you. You answered a couple questions with that response. My next question was, how can someone integrate insights from a plant medicine experience into their daily life?
Yeah. Some of what I said has to go along with that. So the mindfulness, of course, the meditative reflection, the shift of perception, but also integration to me looks like taking the message, sitting with the message, and infusing it in our lives. So I know for me, I take a lot of high doses, but people that start off might do microdosing or smaller doses like macro doses. And so within that, you may get little downloads, like just little downloads, like, hey, you need to go outside and take your shoes off the ground, right? And you then can incorporate, infuse that into your life, to integrate that into your life, because that's something that you should be doing consistently, right? Or you might get a message about, hey, like you need to, instead of eating this, eat this fruit. Or when you wake up in the rising, instead of getting this heavy breakfast, let's eat this. This feels better for our body. Because when we have the plant medicine, we're hyper aware. So you have that awareness about the wellness and about what you're supposed to be eating and how you're supposed to be moving. And the way you can integrate that into your life is by just listening. But also, I like to tell people that are interested in integrating to start journaling. I think that as adults, we get away from the practice of writing. And it's super important to journal and to reflect and sit down and actually take account of what's going on within your life. Because you can look back at it and say, hey, this was the download. Have I been utilizing and infusing this download, or did I forget about it because I didn't write it down, or I didn't hold myself accountable, or I didn't put this into my life? So integration looks like accountability. If you say you're going to start meditating because you had a beautiful cosmic ceremony with mushrooms or ayahuasca or whatever plant medicine you use, and then you get back home and you haven't meditated, you didn't integrate properly. If you say you're going to stop smoking cigarettes or doing or drinking because you had this epiphany, but then you get home and you go right back to doing what you were doing, then you didn't integrate properly. And within that, like, self-accountability is integration. It's like, if you say you're going to set goals for yourself, like you said, the goals, it's up to you to reach those goals. It's up to you to choose to be healthy. It's up to you to choose to be happy. It's up to you to choose to be at peace. And I think people give so much power to other people, like, oh, they're ruining my peace. They're messing with my vibration. No, they don't have that power, baby. They don't have that power. You have that choice. And that's the importance of integration, is honoring, like, yo, I hold myself accountable. I move when I need to move. I sit when I need to sit. I'm in silence when I need to be in silence. I'm loud when I need to be loud. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I infuse what the ancestors, my spirit guides, my deities, whatever I work with is giving to me after I get these messages or after I go through these situations, these ceremonies, these initiations, whatever you want to call them. And I really make it part of my life. I don't do medicine. Medicine is me. I tell people that all the time. Like, I am a mushroom medicine. Like, I really am. Like, I am the medicine. And within that, I think if we look at it that way instead of looking at it like, oh, I had an experience. No, you are the experience. You are experiencing these things. So when you get the message, take the message, keep the message, hold it close to your heart. And like I said, infuse it into your day, your week, and your life.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I mean, doing the ceremonies with you, it definitely gave me a whole nother perspective on mushrooms and just plant medicine in general. Though a lot of times people see it as just a recreational thing, something you just do just to get high or just just to play with. But it really is a healing medicine, though. Just like you might take CBD for pain in your knees, like this is really to heal. We just like everything, they found a way to twist it and flip it so we don't see the benefits in it for us. Thank you. One more question for you. This is about you led a beautiful meditation session during earlier. So, how can you elaborate on the science behind how sound vibrations affect the body and the mind?
Yeah, for sure. I know you waterman ready. Frequencies. Frequencies are really important. And so the sound aspect is the frequency aspect. Our body is made of how much percentage of water?
80 to 90.
So 80 to 90% of water. And if you ever looked at water when you have like music or any type of vibration around water, it moves, it shifts, it shakes, it bounces. So our body reacts to frequencies. Our body reacts to those sounds. Our body reacts to those hums. Our body reacts to those things and it resonates with us because our body is made of water, a lot of water. And the water is the carrier of emotions, it's the carrier of memories, it's the carrier of so many things. So within that, I like to speak about sound as the most ancient language because within that, everybody knows what means. Before words, you know what that means, right? It's ancient. It's ancient. The the oh, the ah, that's all ancient language, and that's what sound is. Bigger than sound bowls, bigger than all these instruments. You have your voice, so that's the first frequency. That's the base frequency. That's the base vibration that we build upon, and then you can get into more and more frequencies within that. The science aspect, of course, there's like you can break down the different energies. So low vibrational energy like anger is at a very low frequency. Our bodies vibrate about 220, like that's the hertz that we usually vibrate about. But anger can take us down to like 110 or even to 90. Love can take us up to 500. We can get as high as 500 just off of me feeling love towards my brothers and my sisters, right? Enlightenment can take us up to 700. So our frequencies can shift based upon the vibrations put in our environment. And that is how we can heal our bodies from disorders and diseases by breaking apart those frequencies, by breaking apart those disorders in our bodies, by listening to those type of sounds. So when I was going around with the sound bowls, the reason it's healing, the reason it resonates with you is because it is the water aspect, it is the healing aspect, it is the vibration, but also because it's infused with certain frequencies that allow your body to feel a sensation of love or joy or enlightenment or of peace or tranquility. And when you start to infuse those vibrations into your life each and every day, those things like anger or despair or depression can't live in your body because it's too high vibration. So when you vibe high, and people say that, but no, really, when you vibe high, the darkness, the depression, the pain, the despair cannot even live in your body. It's too high vibrational. It's too much light. It has to be cast out. So that's the science behind it, and that's also the beautiful healing behind it, because I think a lot of times people think of healing as something difficult to do. It's as long as you begin your journey and start and put your intentions into it, it can be as simple as sitting
or grounding or drinking water or having fresh food or moving your body. That's what healing is. It's that simple. And when we begin to incorporate these things into our lives, we begin to not only heal ourselves, but like you said, heal our families, heal our communities, and heal the world. Because the world needs to see these things. It needs to. A couple people who said, "Oh, I've been looking for something like this. I want to be around something like this because we can feel that this is an elevating frequency. Community is a frequency of elevation. Community and collective great energy is a frequency of love and joy. And so that's the science. That is the science. And it might not be the scientific way to say it, but that's the feeling of it.
That's a scientific way. You're a professor right there. Give me a round of applause for Ms. Amy. Thank you. You really elaborated greatly on the plant medicine and the science behind that, those sounds.
You mind if I add something to that? I was just sitting here thinking, as she was talking about vibration and how, like, everything vibrates. And getting back to the theme, which is healing in nature, it started to make me think about, how difficult it is, to heal in other spaces. Because if everything is vibrating and you're in, let's say, an office building for X amount of hours, then you go home, you're also in that confined space. Those are the frequencies, the vibrations that you're getting, and that's why, being outside, and connected to the land matters. And I was just thinking this the other night, my farm is out on the Eastern Shore, and so it's rural, but I do have a highway that is parallel, to my farm. But it gets a point in the night where, like, there's less traffic, and you can start to just totally be immersed in the sounds of nature. So then the orchestra starts. All the crickets, the cicadas, like everything is going off. And those are like that's the vibrations and the connection to the sound. And in those spaces, I find it very easy, to slip into just a meditative trance type state. And I always feel better. That's where I get my best thoughts are formulated when I'm there. But my spirits are always raised, coming out of that. So, just bringing it back to the nature.
I'm all in peace and just listening to all this, right? Yes, all right. So, with all the vibrations and everything, when it brings it all together, you think about how our connection is, whether you believe in biblical scripture or not, but, the Lord separated the world, right? And you think about our voice and speaking is literally the lowest form of communication. Like talking, this is the lowest form of communication. And you know this, and you have to read, if you have the chance to go to our website, familyexperiencewater.com, our blog, and I literally break down the bonds, the elements, the chart, because atoms, all these things, they all vibrate, and we're talking about on a microcosm, right? So when you start to understand how atoms vibrate, it literally goes all the way up, to your body orchestrating and forming together, the molecules to form together, to be you, right? So this is why they speak through music to us, right? So when you think about a baby, and listening to the sounds of his mother and father in the womb, is surrounded by amniotic fluid, the water, okay? So those voices and that vibration to which the baby then resonates, or why they say playing Beethoven and these types of music, it literally responds differently, right? And then the baby is born, and then the vibration then changes, right? Because now it's of the world at this point in time. So now it's trusting. At one point in time, all it had was ears. It didn't trust its eyes because there was nothing to see at this point in time. So all things are heightened at that point in time. And this is why I'm saying when you're in tune, and just like what Thelonious was saying with outside, air conditioning, conditioning of our school is literally, our skin is our first brain. Our stomach is our second brain, digests the information. So first one is the skin process, and then the third one is the brain that processes the information. So you receive, you digest, and then you process information.
Say that one more time.
You receive the information. Your skin is the largest organ, right, of the body. So all your receptors is on your skin, your hair, your skin. You get 30-degree burns, you can burn and die from skin burn, right? So you receive information. All your orifices and things that are covered by hair is for you to receive the environment around it, okay? So then you digest information through your stomach. Your stomach then breaks apart, the acid breaks apart the information that's stored. So even when you process information, right, and you go through that, before you do that, you digest it, your large intestines is squeezing all the water out of the food that you just ate, right, to retain that water. So you're literally breaking down and containing all the water because it's the most valuable thing that you have in your body, and it needs to retain that, okay, before it excretes it and puts it out in your body. And then your brain, then you have a blood-brain barrier that does not let anything get inside the brain. It is not purified. Okay, so if that blood-brain barrier is dehydrated, then it's like a sponge, and the holes are very open, and it allows gaps to get in there. So now you wonder how they're playing with our food, and they're playing with our music, and then they're doing all these different types of things to lower our vibration. It's extremely important to understand how they're getting through these gaps in our community and breaking down our family and breaking down our structure, breaking down our system. Like, this is war, this is warfare, this is economic chess, and all these things definitely matter. So when we're talking about community building, we're talking about, bridging these gaps, and love what you're doing. So you're giving out flowers, but what you're doing here and for this community is extremely important, because give that for real. Because we're talking about orchestrating a community and bringing things together, and nothing formulates that. And that's what water does. It gathers all the resources, and then it delivers, because they're not moving. The trees aren't moving. The grass is not moving. How else is anything in your organs and your body is going to move unless water takes it there? But it has to receive the information. We have to come together. So I said all that to say, just really understand how important that, being in these enclosed environments is literally dictating the nature of the cell. And that's what it does. We are cellular creatures. That's what we are. We're cells. And the environment dictates the nature of the cell. So what we're consuming and digesting, we then act out in our process.
Thank you, man. Thank you. You can hold the mic one more time. I got one final question for you. So, what distinguishes your alkaline spring water from all the other bottled waters?
So our spring water comes from a spring, not a machine. And that's our marketing. You know what I mean? In the sense of, like, we don't compete. What I do is I work with other bottled water companies, Vibe Alkaline Water in North Carolina. Brother out of there, first one to put his water into Walmart, but had the opportunity to actually put it in other stores, and he told them no, because he wanted to push out our distribution through us, right? So understanding the mindset, and his birthday is literally the day after mine, so I ain't really gonna get all into the signs of the nature, but I got 3 other brothers that's in the water business whose birthdays are Scorpio, and he's either a day before or a couple days after. So understanding your alignment with what it is that you're supposed to be doing, and time, like all this stuff, like it never made sense to me until started understanding and the space that I was in. So I'm not in the competition, but there's no other water company. We teach waternomics, we bring water and economics, these things together, and we do something completely different. Our water speaks for itself. We have a lot of family and friends that speak on our water, that speaks about it. So we promote other businesses. That's what we're in, marketing, advertising, and promoting other people in business. That's the space that we fulfill. Okay, so we bring and we like to do what you're doing. So saying we got a lot of events going on, but I see small businesses getting used again, just as we got used to build other economic structures. We're getting used again, and I want to make sure that we continue to hold that strength and that value within us. So there's no competition with anybody else, but we have a place in this world, and that's where we at. That's where we set in. So
Thank you. Y'all shot with Family Springs. So we got one final question for Mr. Theo. So how does consuming locally grown produce impact both personal health and the community?
Yeah, well, we already talked about the value of buying local, because you're going to get access to more nutrient-dense food, but also culturally appropriate food. And what I mean by that is, like, a lot of the vegetables that we eat here is based on the European diet, because that's who colonized this area. So they brought all the foods, the broccoli, stuff, spinach, and a lot of that doesn't necessarily grow well here in the hot, humid summers of Virginia. Something that does grow well is callaloo, and if you've been to Jamaica or the Caribbean, you might have had callaloo before. It's also popular in like West Africa and stuff like that. So a lot of us black farmers have started to realize we can grow other things. I grow hibiscus, sorrel and stuff like that. So if you guys make value-added products with sorrel, I'm about to have a harvest next month. So it's just learning more and more crops that are more culturally appropriate for us. They align more with our DNA, because our ancestors spent thousands of years eating these type of foods. So then when our diet, when we got displaced and our diet switched, now you had all these other diseases and stuff started to manifest itself, because we hadn't been used to that, that sort of thing. So so it's definitely important, like I say, having access to local, culturally appropriate, nutrient-dense food. And then just being able to eat with the seasons is another thing that I try to promote, because you don't need to eat tomatoes all year long or lettuce all year long. A lot of people, especially if you're on like a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet, you're limiting yourself. And I know a lot of people who might be vegan or vegetarian, and then I'll ask them about, I have some radishes or some, bok choy or, some of these, callaloo and stuff like that. A lot of things that they haven't heard of. And I'm like, the rule number one, you need to have access to a diverse group of, vegetables, especially if you're going to exclude, like meat. And then also, like I said, there's a connection with eating with the seasons, because that's what's coming out fresh. Right now is the time when you're going to get the last of your summer squash, cucumbers, tomatoes. That's heavy in season. That's what you should be eating. A lot of okra. And then we're going to start to shift as September comes in. Some of the cool season crops, September, October, you start getting, your winter squashes, like your butternut squashes, your kales, your collards start coming in, sweet potatoes start coming in. So there's always a healthy diversity of available things. And when your body gets it at that time, it's going to be like, wow, I haven't had this since last year. So it's going to react differently, than eating that same thing all year long. And each vegetable carries different micronutrients, whether it's a root crop, going deep and getting different nutrients, whether it's, a leafy green. And then the colors also dictate what's in the, so having a colorful diet, your purples, your beets, and then your greens, your yellows, oranges, all of those things. So.
That makes a lot of sense, though, because if you think about it, since you were a young child, they only show us about 5 fruits and vegetables. Your apples, your bananas, oranges, mangoes, and you got the vegetables, like you said, tomatoes, carrots, cucumbers, but there's so much else out there, like callaloo?
Callaloo, yeah.
Callaloo. See, I don't even know what that is. I've heard of it, but I've never ate that myself intentionally. Maybe somebody snuck it in my food, but I've never had it intentionally. Yeah. So to even hear that that's something you growing in your backyard and something that's very nutritional for us, it's like it's hundreds and thousands of fruits and vegetables that we could be eating, but they specifically put a certain ones in front of us, and they contaminate those so they can control the outcome that comes from it, though. So it's like, okay, we know you want to eat a little healthier. We're going to control your healthy, though. What comes from that, though? So it's not even still your thoughts of what you're doing. It's like they took control of everything. But like he's just spoken on, it's for us to do the research and to know that it's more out here, and it's up to us. That's just really what it is.
Yeah, and definitely support your farmers because, you know, any revolution you're talking about starts with controlling your food. You know, so farmers have to lead the way, and support your farmers.
Yeah, support your farmers. What is the name of your farm?
Mighty Thundercloud Edible Forest is at Edible Forest on IG. I'm also set up in the back underneath the tent. So.
Okay, yeah, get you some fresh fruits. No, you got some. What else? You have some ginger.
Yeah, I'm selling ginger switchel. This is a drink I make on my farm. It's got ginger, apple cider vinegar, and honey in it. I grow the ginger and I raise the bees for the honey. Yep.
You do beekeeping too.
Yes, sir.
I've never met a black man who beekeeps. That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. Y'all give a hand of applause for all of our panelists up here. And matter of fact, about three, I want to also add, you accept EBT as well, don't you?
Yes.
Y'all don't even know that. He delivers it as well. So you don't even gotta just go to Farm Fresh and Food Lion. He got what you need. Support the community that's supporting you already.
And you can get the water from them too. Through the EBT.
Yeah. Get that Family Springs to the EBT too. What? Yeah, I know I'm shopping at on the 7th. Hey, but nah, this is beautiful, man. Any of you all have anything else to say? Any questions we have out here for any of our panelists?
Can I get a refund? Mr. Theo, do you do tours on the farm or like volunteer days like you
Yeah, do I do tours? Yeah, I do tours. And I just started this summer back, usually on Fridays. We'll have a group of people come out from like Norfolk, Virginia Beach area to the farm. If you're into camping, you know, we do that on the farm as well. I usually have somebody out there doing like a farm-to-table meal. You know, we do some, music and stuff like that vibe. Similar type of energy as this. So definitely connect with me, and I'll let you know, when the next opportunity. But follow me on Instagram too at Edible Forest. That's where I usually announce things.
Thank you.
I do got it. So as far as Follow the Drip, I want to make sure y'all understand and know Follow the Drip Family Springs, where we actually go around and we promote all of our local businesses, but we also have affiliate products with Ginger Ale Lemonade and Renewed Energy Sea Moss. So we do have subscriptions available that you guys can we do free delivery throughout the 7 cities. Any orders $35 a month and more. We definitely deliver it to your door, spring water, straight from the source, so you don't have to go. And also, like I said, those products that we actually have as well, they use our natural spring water. So our motto is you can always recognize a good business by the quality of water that they're willing to serve the people, right? Because that's our hello. At the end of the day, when you go into a restaurant, the first thing that comes out is water. When you go to somebody's house, they're gonna ask you if you're thirsty, you want something to drink. So our water is our hello. So let's greet them properly.
And I want to shout out Chris because I've noticed him online doing a lot of collaborations with a lot of different brands though. And when he does it, he never tries to overshadow at all. He really puts more attention on the other brand more than he does for himself though. And a lot of times in our culture, we try to figure out what's in it for us all the time instead of figuring out what's in it for the community or the overall impact for the world. So I want to say thank you because you are inspiring a lot of people with that Follow the Drip movement. Each time you post a new location, a new business partner, I see you got Ginger Hills on your shorts, House of All, both 2 locally owned brands that he got on his shorts. It's like to support others the way you want to be supported yourself though, and not do it with expectations that they have to do anything back for you, but just because you have the right intentions with it. So thank you. One more question? Or we got any more questions?
No, I don't need a mic. All right. So the question is for you, Corbin. Actually, you know, big up to the panel. On the discussion. My question to you is: I know you just recently did a 28-day journey cleansing. How did you incorporate, you know, some of these things that the panelists talked about into what your journey was for the 28 days and your challenges? I know, you know, going into that, basically it's your mindset. You have to put yourself in a certain mindset space first. And can you talk about where you met with any challenges and, you know, what did it mean to you in overcoming those in your journey?
Okay, thank you, John. So I did just do a 28-day fast. It was 2 weeks of straight raw fruits and vegetables, and then 2 weeks of only water. I wish I would have had Family Springs, honestly. That's what I should have had, really. But going into it, I had done 3-day fasts before, intermittent fasting, so I had a little experience with it. But I still knew that this was going to be a completely different challenge. But I went into it knowing, actually, plant medicine gave me a different mindset to be able to know when to really listen to that growth in my mind, to know when to really listen to that God and the ego in me. Because the ego sometimes will second guess things or have fear with it attached. But listening to the higher source, that is something that plant medicine really helped me with a lot, though. So when I got the message that I need to do this, that's what I did. I didn't really second guess it. I just knew this is what I was doing. I've done it in the past by myself, but this time I actually felt the urge to invite the community to join along with me, though. Not hoping that a certain amount of people do it or that they complete it a certain way, just knowing that I'm supposed to do this and I'm supposed to tell other people while I'm doing it as well, though. So I went into it knowing, okay, it's gonna be a challenge. I've kind of done it a little bit with the fruits and vegetables, but I've never done a complete, never done full 2 weeks of just fruits and vegetables. And for it to be raw, it gave me a different appreciation for food, honestly, though. Because you don't even understand the taste that's in the food sometimes until that's all you have, though. You appreciate it so much more, though. It's like it's like everything's been taken from you. So when you get that small amount of something, you have so much gratitude for it. So while I'm eating, like Chandria spoke on, I'm thanking my food. I'm thanking the water. Like, thank you that I'm able to drink this. I love you. Like, this is good. Like, I'm speaking positive to it, though, so I know that's feeding into me as well, though. And a lot of times people would see me like, oh man, it's been 2 weeks, you ain't had no real food. Like, I have had real food. I've had fruits and vegetables. That's the real food. But you're not even noticing that the stuff you eating or that they've given to us is not the real food. I'm actually still able to have so much energy. I still was able to get around, do with my children, take runs, take walks. I did my elevations. Everything was done with a different perspective, but I still had a lot of energy, more energy than I thought I was gonna have, though. I was able to still work out, go for bike runs. I did have to be more mindful of the energy that I exerted, but it also helped me understand what I put into me and why I have only this amount of energy. Okay, if I put this extra into me, then I'm gonna have even more energy. If I get this amount of rest, then I'm gonna be able to continue throughout my day. Or maybe I've done enough, my body's telling me to relax, to rest now to rest, but now I can still do more, but knowing how to get that proper rest. So doing the fast just helped me really tune in to that higher source, though. It really eliminated any other distractions. The food that they give to us a lot of times has so much contaminations in it that it changes our whole perspective, our whole mindset, and we're not even thinking for ourselves, though. So I wasn't just thinking for myself, but I was thinking straight from the source. Like I said, it wasn't just me at that moment. And like I said, it's a difference when you understand how to separate those two thoughts. I want to do this, I need to do this, but really knowing what is really meant for you to do, though. And it was at one point where I had a thought, and I was like, man, this is really a challenge that's gonna help me with the next part of my life. Like, I can see the food, I can smell the food, I can touch the food, I can picture the food, I can imagine how I'm gonna create it and what I'm gonna eat when I get it and how much I'm gonna eat, but I couldn't get it yet. It wasn't time for me to get it yet. And people would ask, like, why are you still going? You've done enough. Like, who you trying to impress? It was like, I'm not doing it for none of y'all. I'm really doing it for myself, and because this is the mission I was given for myself. So I have to complete it, though. So once I was able to go through those times, all right, everything is going to align at the perfect time. I knew at the right time my fast would be over. I wasn't going to die before it happened. And if I did die, I was really supposed to die, honestly. And I would have been a testament for all y'all to know, hey, you see what he did, then now you do it your way, whatever. But I knew I had a greater mission, and I wasn't going to die, though. So I went through it, and I'm so grateful that I went through it because it gave me a different level of discipline and understanding the power that I really have, though. When they take away your food, like, it's so much. We have an attachment to food since the day we were born. They forcing food down our throats. They forcing you to eat formula, eat meat. Your grandmas and aunties, oh, you need to eat it. You ain't eating enough. All that. I was one of them children. I love to eat. I still love to eat. But I had to change my relationship with food. That was the biggest thing. I became vegan about a year and a half ago. But I don't even say that everybody has to become vegan. I just understand you have to have a different relationship with the food that we have right now and be very much intentional about what you consume, how much you consume, when you consume. I know for my body, I don't need to consume in the beginning part of the day. Honestly, I work a lot better when I fast in the beginning parts of the day, and I know the times of the day that I need to stop eating. Because if I don't stop eating, I'm gonna feel that congestion the next day. I feel a little congestion today because I went out of town yesterday and ate food that I shouldn't be eating. It was still some vegan food, but I ate it at the wrong times, and I knew I was gonna feel it. But it's about just being mindful and understanding what you are doing, why you are doing it, and just continue to move on. So, like I said, the 28-day fast, it was amazing. I wouldn't advise anybody to just jump into it, but fasting at least once a quarter, and eventually you can do it once a month, and maybe even once a week. Now I look at doing fasting at least once a week, like a complete day of just nothing. Like I don't even have to just do intermittent fasting, like, cause I understand I'm not gonna lose anything from not eating. I'm gonna actually gain. I'm losing waste. Like my boy him told me, I felt like I was. Oh, I forgot what I said, but I was losing waste. I lost a lot of waste off of me, and I'm consuming everything I need. So I'm outside grounding. I'm feeling the sun. I did a lot of sun bathing, gazing, whatever you want to call it. I was feeling the nutrients from it. I actually found out it's certain type of people who call themselves like breatharians. They survive off just air. They don't eat or drink anything for days and weeks and sometimes months. They don't even have too much of a social life because they can't interact with everybody because they don't really understand. But to see that is like, whoa, people are surviving like this, and I'm complaining about only having one meal or only having this to eat. It's like, man, if I got 10 carrots and some hummus, I'm gonna take my time and really appreciate every dip with this, and not be eating while I'm, on the phone, or eating while watching TV, or eating while I'm driving, but really being mindful about everything that you do when you're doing, especially eating. Because like he spoke on that, that's the second brain. You feel it from your skin, you feeling what's around your environment. But what you put inside you, that's the choice that you are making a lot of times. So it's very important. So like I said, I advise anybody to just try out fasting at least once. See how it works for you. But this was beautiful though. I didn't know exactly how this wellness panel was gonna go, but I knew I had 4 great people who really specialize and really have passion behind everything they speak on. These aren't people that's just doing it for a hobby or doing it for the money or doing it for a new business, but they're doing it for their self and because of the impact that they know that they're doing for the community. But honestly, it starts with self. Finding out what you have to do for yourself. And it sounds selfish, but it's not selfish at all. Because the more that you do for yourself, it's going to feed so much more into the community than you trying to give off to everybody when you haven't even had enough for yourself already. But I appreciate all of you all sitting and listening. We got another question?
Well, not so much a question. I just want to say shout out to you for putting this whole thing together. Like, when we walked up, we was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Like, we about to have a great time. And I just want to say I appreciate the panel because I feel like, a lot of the stuff I knew, but I feel like it was a refresher on so many things that I forgot and that I wasn't, mindful of. So I really appreciate y'all, and we definitely got so many of those big things of your water. We was like, we gonna save these for the zombie apocalypse. But we never knew who it was. We just seen like your company somewhere. Well, she seen it and told me about it. Yeah, on Facebook. And so we bought a whole bunch of them. And Ina, is that how you say your name? I really appreciate what you're doing because not a lot of, especially black women, where we come from, they don't have, a lot of us don't have the guts to do what you do. Like, people think, oh, they're just doing drugs. Like, no, it's way bigger than that. And I love that you overstand it, you know, and you bring that to the community. So, thank y'all.
Thank you for bringing that up. I want to speak on that. If y'all notice my shirt, the back of my shirt says legalize indigenous medicine. Like, this is not a drug. This is something that they have told us is a drug. This is our medicine. All of the things that I sell, all the things that I do are medicines. They are not drugs. This is a different perception. Like you were saying, the control aspect, the wanting us to be in a certain mindset aspect has made a lot of the things that grow here on this planet to support us, to support our elevation into a categorized drug. So like the way I move, I call myself the Harriet Tubman of this type of medicine, because it's like at the end of the day, I understand the risks that come with this, but I understand who I am as well. So understanding that I'm an indigenous person of this earth and a sovereign being is the reason I can utilize this medicine, because it is mine to utilize. So within that, I also want all y'all to understand that and shift the narrative, really shift the narrative. If you're utilizing any type of sacrament, marijuana, peyote, psilocybin, ayahuasca, whatever you're utilizing, please, please, please honor the spirit of the medicine. A lot of us out here blazing up, enjoy it, but honor the spirit of that medicine, because it's there for you to heal, it's there for you to elevate, it's there for you to be in a blissful, joyful state. But there's a spirit that comes with every single plant, every single herb, every single thing that's growing has a spirit attached to it. So we have to honor that and remember that, because within that is the collective elevation, and it's going to shift the way you even see it, it's going to shift the way you take it, it's going to shift the way that you interact in your life. So yeah, let's really change our mindset around these things and honor the fact that it's medicine. And not to say medicine as in we're sick, but to say medicine as in it has the possibility and capability of healing us mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Ashe, thank you. Y'all give me a round of applause for my panel leaders, man. These are leaders of the new generations, man. This is how we're breaking our generational curses. Really, God's up here. These are God. Y'all know y'all power. Stand up in it and know and remember who you are. For real. Like, y'all see these people, there's no difference in between what you do and what they do. They just have a lot of passion behind it, and they know why they're doing it. Understand why you do what you do. If you don't understand your why, you're probably doing it wrong. You're probably doing something you shouldn't be doing. I ain't saying doing it wrong, but you're doing something you shouldn't be doing if you don't have the right why behind it. All four of these guys beside me know their why. Understand your why, understand who you are, so you can continue to be great and impact the world the way you're supposed to. Thank y'all, man. So now we're about to just continue with the rest of the day. Continue to shop, get you some food, ask questions to the panelists if you want to separately. We got our performance about to start, and then we rolling into the comedy show, you feel me? We're here to have a good time all night, you feel me? We just having, yeah. What's up?
Okay. You gonna get a picture? Oh, a picture. Oh, my fault.